came to the conclusion when I got to Stanford, basically, that religion was just the human attempt to try to reconcile with the fact that the universe is just so complex it's unfathomable. So we just try to pretend we understand and we make up religion. That's what I thought. That was sort of the conclusion I reached. That lasted 3 months until my accident. The near-death experience and all that changed how I saw things.
It's described in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It's called the rainbows. I went into a state of rainbow, brilliant colored lights, just brilliant. Yeah, like laser light, like nothing you've ever seen in this world. And it was there for a very long time, but there was a feeling of just incredible ecstasy. Like I just didn't want for anything else. It was remarkable. You can't go there and not come back the same. It's not possible to be the same person I was. I experienced something that was just so removed from everything I had done.
You know, some people have literally had a spiritual experience just walking down the street or sitting on a park bench. But most people, they have their experience caused by three main things. Psychedelics, which are certain chemicals that induce a trance-like state in your brain that kind of allow for a broadened awareness. And then there's certain spiritual rituals like meditation, breath work, and chanting, which are more accessible and less dangerous, but can take a lot more time and don't really ensure a spiritual experience. And then lastly, there's NDEs, which brings me to a man named Cam Smith, who will explain his spiritual experience and give you just a better understanding of the topic in general.
When I had my accident, I was skiing and I jumped, but I was off balance in the air. I knew I was going to crash, but something happened on this particular crash and I broke my neck. Immediately, I was paralyzed from that. Something about that impact dislodged my spirit connection to my physical body. Then I ended up immediately in this sort of energy bath. It felt like liquid air, but it was also kind of tingly energy, and it was all around me and all through me as well. It was like permeating my whole being, and it was absolutely ecstatic, like literally ecstasy, the best feeling that I've ever felt in my life, the best feeling I could possibly imagine. Just instantly felt that. And at the same time, I'm also dimly kind of aware that I'm this person that I am, a Stanford student. I have a girlfriend at home, I have a family that loves me. And I'm like, I don't care about any of that. Whatever this is where I want to stay. Eventually, I started feeling the bumps of the moguls because my body was sliding down the hill. And then within a few more seconds, I was laying in the snow. And I was like kind of back to my body awareness. So that in itself didn't change how I saw the world. I've come to see that experience triggered some things that changed how I saw the world. So from then on, I started having psychic dreams, really interesting experiences that had recently come to conclude were impossible when I became an atheist.
After a spiritual experience, many people have come to find that they've become more empathic, psychic, and just have an overall lesser fear of death, with the downside being that they have a harder time adapting back into regular society. This was temporarily the experience of David X after taking psychedelics.
I just was not the same person afterwards. Haven't been since. I became a lot more introspective, a lot more serious in many ways. It left me pretty dysfunctional because I couldn't talk to anyone about it, particularly at that time. There was no internet, so I couldn't look up and see what had happened. I didn't know who to talk to or how to find out. So for me, I had a very difficult time for many years afterwards. It was a New Year's party. I was 20 years old. I had taken too many drugs, basically. I was working somewhere where that was kind of at that time, that was kind of like a cool thing to do. But to keep ourselves entertained, we brought in drugs to entertain each other. So I was doing that every day for a few months, and it kind of accumulated and built up. And that night, I was also doing a little bit of drinking. And at some point, I felt very, very tired. I was with a girlfriend. I said, I'm just going to lay down for a minute. So I lay down, and I just immediately went out of my body. I was aware that I stopped breathing. I was aware the moment I left my body, I felt my heart stop beating. And I was conscious of everything that was happening.
So, why do you think that, like, it's important to have spirituality in your life and, like, connect ourselves with our sixth sense?
The sixth sense, I don't think it's important to connect with our sixth sense, like, for the purpose of connecting with the sixth sense. It's a reflection. Having that connection is a reflection of being deeper in yourself. When you go to a very deep place, or at moments when you're in a deep place, that sixth sense perception is just part of your experience. I'm not saying that I'm always in that place, because I think where you have that level of experience, where you really just know things, that's more like something that it's nice to touch upon if you can get there, at moments. And I tend to only do that when I'm in sleep. But to answer your question another way, like, why is it important to connect with spirit? It's because the good things that we experience, like all of our good experiences, come from that place. When you have joy, even if it's because you're licking an ice cream cone, the joy itself is coming from within you. It's coming from an internal spring in yourself. That's coming from a certain part of spirit. So if all those great experiences are coming from spirit, then wouldn't it be nice just to get a little closer to it?
Yeah.
The feeling of ecstasy is feeling of love. It is overwhelming, and it's just beautiful beyond description. Yeah, that was my big takeaway, is that when we cross over, it's just pure love. It's really remarkable. It's overwhelming. It's so remarkable.